Sky Fam, it's your girl Kryz, and let me tell you, there's nothing quite like getting together with loved ones and sharing a delicious meal. You know, the food that brings everyone to the table? Laughter fills the air and memories are made. Whether it's game night with friends, a birthday celebration, or a cozy family dinner, 24 Chicken has something for everyone. Plus, they have delicious sides and flavorful sauces to keep things exciting. It's the perfect way to bring everyone together and create a feast guaranteed to bring smiles. So ditch the stress of cooking and skip the drive-thru. Head over to www.24chickendelivery.com or use your phone to order some 24 Chicken goodness. Remember to use the promo code SkyFam24Chicken for a special discount. Welcome to Sky Podcast. Watch out for a new episode every Saturday. What is Sprinkle Feminism? Like, make men pay because women are giving so much value to the lives of men. So, kailangan magbayad daw yung guy. That's the whole concept. So, anong take mo dun?
From a women's standpoint versus a guy's standpoint, grabe yung change ng life when you get married, especially when you have children.
I'm not just, here to give birth. Like, I do offer so much value.
Ano?
I'm very, very tired.
You're very, very pregnant.
I'm very, very pregnant. 2 weeks.
2 weeks na lang?
2 or 3 weeks na lang. I can't believe I'm having a third baby and that all of our babies are boys. You know how, when you're younger, you always kind of picture your life when you're older? I don't know if you do that. You always dream about, this is the Prince Charming I'm gonna marry. That's you, my love. And then, these are my kids. I'm gonna have 2 kids. I'm gonna have a dog and all of these things. But never ko talaga na-imagine na, oh my God, 3 kids and then 3 boys.
Did you have mga dreams when you were growing up? Like, do you always wanted to be something or someone or like...
I mean, I always knew I wanted to be a mom. Part of it. I mean, career dreams are different, but like family dreams.
Pero career dreams, meron din.
Career dreams, meron din. I always wanted to be in the fashion industry. I thought I wanted to be like very Devil Wears Prada vibe. Because at that time, wala pa namang vlogging, social media. So, that was not in the picture at all.
So, bata ka pa, alam mo nang ma-fashion ka na talaga.
Fashion talaga. Like, it was really fashion. It was really fashion. So, I was surrounded by like these powerful women in my family that are so career-oriented.
That's why, parang, even si Scotty, at this age, alam na, ang dami niya mga gusto eh. Gusto ko, I'll be a monster truck driver. Yun
An
talaga
artist.
yun sa kanya. An artist, whatever that is.
Yeah.
I've never had that.
Huh?
Oo. Parang ano na lang, pag college na lang na, gusto ko magiging artista siguro. Pero parang,
pero
alam
layo,
mo,
no?
dream lang na, you see someone on TV, it would be nice to be him. You see an interview of Tom Cruise, it would be nice to be an artista. Yung ganyan lang. Hindi yung, si Scotty, pag tinanong ko, Scotty, galing kami Siargao, diba? Scotty, do you wanna be a surfer? No, I wanna be a monster truck driver.
He knows what he wants.
Talaga yung sa kanya. Bata pa, alam mo nang gusto mo Alam mo yung
I think it's because like there's so much information now. So he knows exactly what a monster truck driver is. Like I think when we were younger,
yes.
we didn't even know monster trucks existed.
Yeah.
I
was just having that conversation yesterday with a friend na Scotty and his daughter was talking about anemone. And ano yung anemone?
A sea anemone.
Yeah. So, kung saan nakatira si Finding Nemo. Diba? So, parang grabe, no? At 4 years old, he's 3, almost 4. Alam na nila yung anemone.
Yeah.
Alam na nila yung mga ganitong terms na dati wala talaga.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to think the difference when it comes to the knowledge and the access to information. Iba talaga. Like, people are very much better educated. Better yung information. Mas konti na lang yung fake news. And I would believe yung mga superstition is
less.
A lot less.
Yeah.
A lot less. So, wait. Paano tayo napunta dito?
No, I'm just... it's funny that you mentioned that because like the Gen Z now, they have so much terms for everything,
Yeah.
And there's this new thing that I wanted to talk about today, which is kind of called the new wave of feminism. Of course, it started on TikTok. At least I think so, So it's called Sprinkle Feminism.
Okay.
/ Make Men Pay. So, sa title pa lang, ano yan? Di ba? Sprinkle Feminism or Make Men Pay. What is it? So, the concept behind it is, basically, there's behavioral psychologist. His name is Paul Dolan. So, there's some science back backing it daw.
But did the trend come from that article?
I'm not
Hindi.
so sure if the trend came from it, but ito yung kind of concept behind it, which take it with a grain of salt. So sabi nila, men's lives daw significantly improve when they get married because
Okay.
they take less risks.
Parang hindi naman.
Someone is taking care of them, so parang they earn more, they can focus on their careers, they earn more. Basta their lives significantly improve with a wife. Diba? Agree? Agree.
Outside factors of success.
Basta, yun. Yun na yun daw. They live longer, basically. And then women are the opposite. So, when women have children and when they get a spouse, their lives go downhill. They live
Shorter.
shorter.
You already live shorter.
And then they are unhappier. Diba? Ano pa yun, love? Napag-usapan na natin to.
Less happy.
Parang mentally and physically, naaapektuhan yung life nila kasi they have children, they change, la la la. So the concept...
sacrifice yung career because now you have to take a lot of leaves and you have to like commit a bulk of your energy to your family. Ganyan.
Yeah.
In most traditional society.
So basically daw, make men pay because women are giving so much value to the lives of men. So kailangan magbayad daw yung guy. That's the whole concept. So anong take mo dun?
I understand. I get that from the side of the girl, mas marami talagang sacrifices. I can see it. I can see it very clearly naman. And even right now, like you being pregnant, ako wala naman. Like we were even talking about it. Like, grabe yung change ng life when you get married, especially when you have children. From a woman's standpoint versus a guy's standpoint, it's probably yung guy maybe may 5%, 10% change. Kasi physically, we're still the same. I still have the freedom to... Ngayon, like parang... I just took a vacation with Scotty. Oh, ikaw, there's a lot of sacrifice, not only in the pregnancy phase, but also in the after. Like breastfeeding and all these things. Yeah, meron pa rin sacrifice on the father, but the 90% of it is just you. On that side. So, let's say, for example, both of us were actors, sabihin natin, celebrity actors. Iba yung, you need to take a break because now you're pregnant, you have may mga sacrifices on the roles that you can take and everything else. But ako, as a guy, I can still do my job.
Can play any character. Ako kailangan buntis yung character.
Baka hindi pa. Oo. Yun, ang dami lang mga, it's just part of it. For me kasi, when it comes to happiness, I also read this article a long time ago. I don't know if it's an article or a book. It was explaining na baka it's not all about happiness because in all external markers of success, when you become a mother, lugi ka talaga. But if you were to ask that mother,
Lugi ka talaga.
when it comes to
Success
external
what?
success of how people view success.
Okay.
Success in career, monetary, yung free time mo and all these things. Definitely may attachment, diba? To having kids. But pag tinatanong daw nila yung mga women na yun, would you give it all back? Give it all up? Everyone or almost everyone would say na no.
Parang would you choose this external opinion, idea of success over the life that you have now?
Yes.
And they would choose...
Would you go back to you being single and wala ka ng sleepless nights, you have your time, your energy, and most women would prefer to be where they're at, being a mother,
Most moms would still choose to be a mom.
Yes. So, which I think research din yun na parang sinabi nila na if that's the case, hindi yung most important factor is not happiness. It's not the external measures of success, but a certain sense of fulfillment, a certain sense of connection, which ang dami mga angles when it comes to emotions of being a parent na is a lot more important than all these things na it might not just be distilled in what an article can say.
Yeah. I also feel like there are a lot of definitions of success and happiness. Kasi I don't really agree with this article. I'll put a link to the article in the description. But I don't really agree with it as a mom myself, like if I look back at my life in my 20s before we got married, love, it was a very full life. Like I was able to experience a lot. I had my own career going and I was more financially free and all of these things. Yeah, it was a great life. But now, kahit 90% of my time I'm at home, tied down to my kids, being so noisy in the morning, no sleep, don't really have anything for myself. Parang 10% na lang for myself. But yeah, I would still choose to be a mom over the life that I had before. And I would, even argue to say that this is the happiest I've ever been.
Aww.
Yeah, like, happy talaga ako. And I feel I'm very successful even though career-wise, parang siguro nag-slow down. Slow down ba? Di naman din. Ewan ko. Parang I feel like it's all a matter of perspective, basically. And I just find it so weird na the concept of making men pay. Do you agree? Or do you think that you should pay? Because if you wanna pay, okay lang din.
In a relationship, there should be balance. There should be it's a term. I don't know if it's just us titling it as making men pay or ano. Pero parang it's a term of making someone do it that makes it, for me,
Awkward.
Or parang pinipilit. Pero I think the true meaning, or the way I like to understand it should be, you have to have a certain sense of self-worth. Na
Who, the guy or
this
the girl?
is the girl. This is my value. Na it's not, kailangan bayaran mo ako ah. It's like innate na dapat, ito talaga ako.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't settle for less.
Yes.
It's a very subtle difference na it's like someone standing confidently and just being confident versus saying, hey, I'm confident. It's a very different thing.
Like you just know it in your heart.
Oh, so when you say you make men pay in a way wherein it's the way I like to understand it, the way I feel like it should be. It's this is my worth. I wouldn't stand for a man that doesn't treat me right.
That doesn't
respect me. That
Yes.
doesn't see the value that I'm giving to the relationship. That doesn't. I think there's this trend na parang, okay, since mag-aanak ka,
Push
kailangan
present.
push present or whatever. It should be kind of like automatic in a way, especially if you value that. But si Kryz never says to me, bigyan mo ako ng push present ha. Walang ganyan. Yeah. So, it should be just innate. Kung hindi ako type of person, type of man that Kryz is into, because hindi ko binavalue si Kryz, it's not even a question anymore. I just don't go for that guy.
Exactly. I feel like this whole concept of make men pay, and the way that I read up about it na parang, okay, when you're in the dating phase, I'm a woman and I'm gonna provide so much value into your life, so you gotta pay for my dates and take me to fancy restaurants. Yung ganong concept, I feel is very clickbaity lang. Like, okay, pang TikTok video lang siya, pantawa. But if you apply it to your life, it could be dangerous. Because parang, it's making me feel as a viewer that, okay, I can settle for this guy as long as he pays. Because my value is now exchanged with this gift or monetary or whatever. But because that's the title, right? Make men pay, sprinkle feminism. But parang for me, it doesn't apply because I know my value. I feel happy that I'm married. I'm contented with my life. And I chose a partner that, even if I pay for the date, he pays for the date, it doesn't really matter to me because being with him already is a value in itself to me. Diba? Oh, aren't you touched?
No, sa akin, I think ganito. I'll try to expound a little bit more of what I understand what you just said to be. In TikTok kasi, parang sinasabi, oh, guys, ganito. I haven't seen any of these videos. I just know that there's a trend. So parang, alam ko lang na, like, diba, is usually someone talking straight to the camera. When it comes to these types of trends, like, hey, this is what you should do. This is what you should do. You're worth more than that. Blah, 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 blah. It's a good thing. It's a good thing, definitely. But it can be misconstrued.
Yeah.
Your understanding of that 30-second, 1-minute video can be very, very different to different people. Make men pay, just that can be understood as pilitin mo yung mga dinidate mo na dapat ganito. And it can be treated as a very black and white thing, which is very dangerous. In reality, there is a lot of dimensions to this na hindi siya yung dapat isang 1 minute lang. The layers of that, on what that truly means, can be totally different, and mas malalim dapat yung pagkaintindi natin. When it comes to the things that we read on the internet, we don't take it at face value. So the way I understand it should be a deeper I think an easier example would be, 'di ba, merong trend na red flag siya agad if naka-velcro yung
That came from a podcast.
or something, and then it became a trend. Like, pag naka-velcro yung wallet niya.
The icks. The icks. We talked about that before.
We had a podcast about it. I saw the YouTube video na parang pag naka-velcro yung pag naka-sandal siya na certain type, diretso siya red flag.
Yeah, so basically it's like you're dating this guy, he's a 10, he's a great conversationalist, he's good in blah, blah, blah. You like him.
Yeah.
But then like when it comes time to pay, he takes out a Velcro wallet and then it's like, red flag, bye.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you just take it at that and you're young and impressionable, diretso mo na yun na, okay, no. And me, the very, very teenager me, would treat it like that talaga. Face value, sinabi nito na bawal yun. And all my peers say it's
Uncool.
yucky and uncool. So, I'll treat it as uncool.
Yeah.
But let's just say you really do have a proper 10. A proper guy who'll treat you right, and that's his only... Diba, there's that dimensionality and that it's not final.
Yeah, and you also don't know, like, okay, maybe this wallet has sentimental value. All of these things, like...
Layo.
You never know. The thing is, you never know if you take it at face value.
Yeah, so exactly as the same with the make men pay thing.
Yeah.
Parang, lang kasi, at the age of 20, I thought I knew everything. And just by reading something, I thought I knew everything that I needed to know about it. But life, the older you get, and it's more of like, ang daming dimensions.
Yeah.
And ang daming one sentence or 1 minute of an article can be twisted and interpreted in so many different ways that we still have to keep an open mind. I would even go as far as, what if the guy just isn't the type of guy to do these grand gestures or to do the sprinkle thing, pero he's a solid, reliable guy. Pwede naman din.
Yeah,
diba?
I think that's also what I was trying to get at. Na at any time, nandun ka naman. And I don't feel like my life has devalued because I got married to you and I had your kids. In fact, I feel like the value went up. To me, personally, I don't care about the people outside. To me, I'm happy you're married and I'm happy with you. And I don't need a push present to make me feel valued because nandiyan ka naman partner naman tayo. Hindi mo naman ako pinabayaan.
Yes. And I feel like you don't need a push present because
Ikaw
let
na yung
me stroke my
push
own. Pero feeling ko, in our relationship kasi, I don't need grand gestures from you because I know you're solid with me.
Yeah.
And vice versa, I would hope. Pero, di ba, yung parang hindi siya, it's not the external things, it's not the like parang deep in our relationship, yeah, we give each other these types of gifts, we give each other nice little surprises, but that's a symptom of a deeper, more meaningful kind of love.
Yeah, it's not to pay for something.
Hindi siya yung, hindi siya exchange.
Exactly. It's not, because you gave me children, I will now give you this diamond bracelet. I was just listening to this podcast. I think it was Valeria. I think she's doing podcast now, like solidly. And then she was interviewing Kryz Lim, who's so vocal about her divorce. And in that podcast, Kryz said na parang one of the things that she got married so early. And she got into conflict with her husband because, syempre, when you get married and, you have kids, your lives change, right? And you have all these responsibilities. And as what's stated in this article in our topic today, na parang the women really goes through a physical and mental overhaul.
Yeah.
And the husband said na, always told her na, you've changed. Like, you're not the same person that I married. And she was explaining na, yeah, I have changed. And that's a good thing because if you're not changing, then it means you're not growing, diba? But parang the guy expected her to kind of be the same person. And I think that's what's great about a relationship is because you know that I'm really gonna change and you're there to change with me. So like, I feel like to us, parang hindi ako lugi sa relationship just because I'm a woman. Because the relationship isn't me versus you, it's us together.
Yeah. There are a lot of these types of trends, right? Some of them are helpful, and a lot of them is an indication of people just being like enlightened and like parang ang dami pala talaga totoong sacrifice. But I think the way we accept these things should be not just at face value. We have to understand that there are dimensionalities to everything in the world. Everything we read about, everything we see, hindi natin as truth
Yeah.
and the last final say. Kailangan bigyan natin siya ng subtleties. There's whenever I'm reading any article, I always liken it to a slider or a volume knob na parang meron siyang other sides and meron siyang dimensionality na hindi siya, it's either on or off.
It's not a one size fits all.
Yes.
Also.
And I don't like it being framed as it has to be because I give you this, you give me that. Like, exchange siya. Because love isn't an exchange. And dapat hindi yun your reason for going into a relationship. It's not what can I get out of this versus what can you get out of it. Parang sa
Dangerous
amin,
siya.
there are a lot of times when I get more out of the relationship than Kryz. There are also a lot of times that I feel na siya mas nakukuha niya versus me. And
But we don't count.
we never count. We never see it that way. It's not even a conversation. Yun yung pinaka detrimental to I think any relationship is when
It's me versus you eh.
oh,
Parang ganun.
I gave you this ha. Oy, alam mo, yung nagbibilingan na, pinayagan kitang pumunta dun. Dapat payagan mo rin ako. I've had relationships like that. It just becomes a competition inside the relationship and it just becomes na nagbibilingan tayo. I forgave you for this ha. Tapos ganyan.
Kapagod siya.
Oh, diba? So, this can be very much like that as well. I can take that logic na because I did this, because you did this, I have to give you this. I can also find ways wherein I've benefited that relationship and like, kailangan mo rin ako bigyan.
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, all of these things, like this, so many new names, all of these videos that are so intriguing to watch. Like, what is Sprinkle Feminism? Like, just the name itself is so catchy, makes you want to watch it, right?
Yeah.
There is a good side to it, as you mentioned earlier. Like, for example, if you're a guy that has no idea what women go through,
Yeah.
in marriage and childbirth, it could be an eye-opener na, ay, okay, lugi pala talaga yung women, generally speaking. Diba? And if you're a woman also, parang it makes you also value yourself na,
Yep.
yeah, I do put so much on the table. Like, I'm not just, here to give birth. Like, I do offer so much value. So, yes, if you look at it from that way, it's a great thing, right? But, yun na nga, sinasabi ni Slater, that if you see it as black and white, na parang, okay, since I offered this, you have to give me this, exchange na siya, it can be very delicado.
Yes. So, yun lang. I think it's all about loving the person, as cheesy as it sounds, but also knowing your own self-worth and not dealing with a person that doesn't treat you right. I think that as a whole is kind of like the gist of it. Like, treat you right. Ang dami niyang dimensionality. Ang dami niyang treat you right can just be breakfast in the morning or just being there for you. It's not necessarily a gift. It's not necessarily a push present.
I feel like if you as a woman feel that you're valued,
Yeah.
diba, you can feel it naman, diba?
Yeah.
Yeah.